Do you enjoy the nation's holiday, 4th of July, as much as I do? Or maybe you're not from the United States but looking for something patriotic to do for your country just to show support. I have a fun upcycle makeover for you today. I'm Larissa at ProdigalPieces.com, and I have had a stash of cupboard doors gifted to me, and I've done some videos here and other projects on my blog with tutorials for you to follow, so you can check that out over there. But this is a really kind of rather large cupboard door. It's brand new, solid wood, but I wanted to make some Independence Day decorations for us and wanted to show you how to do this. Perfect for a gift, perfect for outside, even if you wanted to weatherproof it, for inside, very versatile. It even doesn't have to be for an Independence Day celebration. You could take this same idea and make it for any holiday you want, or just to have some home decor. So follow along and I'll show you how. Okay, I'm up here. I want to just let you know, before you get started with any kind of project like this, you want to make sure your surface is clean and ready to go. And the best way to do that, chemically free, is to use just a vinegar water mixture in a spray bottle. So I'm just going to lightly mist here, get my surface dampened, and then wipe it down. This will allow the paint that we're going to be using to stick, and even just allow a little tooth if you feel like you needed to, depending on what type of paint you use. You could use a sandpaper, just to lightly rough it up with maybe like 150 grit paper. And really though, if you're using a good quality paint, you shouldn't have any issues here. So I'm going to be using some of my favorite paintbrushes. I carry 7 styles in my shop, and the only reason I carry those is because I believe in them. I'm what you would call a brush snob. I love to go to the store, I open up the paintbrushes and I touch the bristles, and I want to see how are they going to flow with the paint, how are they going to work with the things that I like to use. And these zebra paintbrushes are some of the best that I have found. So really I can't say enough good about them. What I'm going to be using today are 2 different styles that I have. One is the square brush that is great for detailing, especially getting in and around edges. I use it all the time. I don't even use tape. I can get my lines straight with this one. And then I have the fan brush, which allows me to just get a nice smooth coat evenly there, and it spreads out and it works great on edges and divots like this that are around cupboard doors. So these are the 2 I'm going to be using today. I'll tell you more about a giveaway we're having in a little bit. So first step we're going to do is get our paint on. Many people ask me what is my preferred paint. Well, honestly, that depends on the project I'm working on. I like chalk paints for one thing, milk paints for another. Most often though, I go to a basic latex paint, and this one works well for, I've used it in my house, on my walls, on my cupboards. Really, this is probably the one I use the most. So, and I've also used semi-gloss and other finishes that would give me, for mid-century modern. It just depends if I'm going for rustic. Well, in this instance, my goal is to create a center panel here that would be a chalkboard effect. And we're gonna have a different frame going on around. And in order to do that, I'm gonna paint the entire thing black, 2 coats, and then we'll show you the details that we're going to be going. So to do that, I'm going to start with my fan brush here, and like I said, we'll be applying 1 coat and then going on with another coat. And usually I give about 2 hours depending on humidity, probably no more than 2 usually. We want it to cure accurately, because then your second coat won't fare well. It'll either go on or cause the undercoat to mess up. And notice I'm not using a primer. It really, again, depends on what I'm after, how durable. This is for decor, so I'm not too worried about wear and tear like I would maybe for a tabletop or something like that. But some chalk paints you can do that with. Even this, they claim, you gotta have chalk paint to do that without a primer, but really I feel this paint works just as well. It's all in your preparation, and application is key. These brushes make it super handy. All right, I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll show you the next steps. Okay, my center panel has cured. Now we're going to do the outside edge in the white, and as I mentioned, I'll be using this square brush because this really does a great job because I'm not wanting to get paint on the middle panel. And for the outside, I'm just using a basic latex white, and you can see how nice this is, how I can go along. I don't even need tape. That's the wonder of these zebra brushes. When the paint has great viscosity, you can just drag right along. And I'm not going super solid on this because I wanted to have an age to feel. Now we're gonna let this cure, and then we'll add our little definition here and there to give it some 4th of July fun. Okay, we're ready for the next part. Now, in order to do my stars and stripes, I made this sheet of paper with 1.5-inch stars. I have available for printable download. You can use these for your crafts and stuff, only for personal use, okay, not for sale. What I am going to do is I took a basic office sheet of paper and I took a sheet protector. You can see this in my other tutorial for my antique sign. Cut the sheet protector in half and made 2 different sheets, but I'm only going to be needing one. Then I used my Loctite adhesive, sprayed the front of the paper, put that plastic on, then I'm going to cut out the stars, and then I'm going to adhere them with this other low tack spray onto my sign to kind of be like a reverse stencil. Okay, so just watch and you'll see what I'm going to do. The next step, I had 12 stars here, and again, you could use any size star you want and the pattern you want. I'm kind of going for a wavy flag looking thing behind the sign, behind the blackboard anyway, chalkboard. I've just picked out a blue that I had on hand, and I'm going to go over with my square brush here. Try not to go too heavy on it, but I'm just gonna kind of fill in, like I said, sort of a wave going on here over the stars. And again, I kind of want this to look old, so I'm not going super solid. I know I already did it in white, but this is how you get the layer going, right? So I'm going to let that dry. Then I will peel off the stars. Right now I'm going to switch over and do my stripes on the other end. So I've got my blue star field here and my stripes. And what I like to do, I share the link to this tutorial down below or on the blog of how I make my transfer images. I pretty much use Photoshop and create my own graphics with my own text. I'll be putting this on the sign here, and to get it on, you could use graphite paper. There's different methods. My preferred is using pastels, where I rub on the back. I know you can't see it, it's in white. I rub on the back, and then I place my graphic on, hesitating, making sure I'm lining it up where I would like. You could, instead of using pastels, use chalk if you wanted this to be chalk art. But because I'm pretty much making this permanent but making it look like it's a chalkboard, I'm going to use the pastels and then hand paint them in. But the next step you could skip would be to rub it with just a basic school chalk and then transfer it on as you're going to see me do, and then just leave it. And that's the final step. But for me, I'm going to be hand painting it in. So I will show you the end result here in a minute after I'm done. I don't know about you, but I had fun. I totally took a cupboard door and made it patriotic fun for our Independence Day celebration, 4th of July. Really, I could have done anything with it. I could have left it just as a chalkboard that I could erase and write every day. I could have made a sign for Christmas, Easter, whatever. All of these kind of things just for even daily decor, maybe some other fun scripture, some inspirational quote, whatever. But the idea is to see the potential in something that someone else might see as a cast-off. So I hope you enjoy this. I invite you to come to my blog, prodigalpieces.com. If you're viewing this today in the next few days, I'm giving away a set of my favorite zebra paint brushes. You don't want to miss out on that. Great value, great prize to be had. I invite you to sign up for my channel here on YouTube, subscribe. Most of all, leave me a comment below. I love to know that you're there. What would you have done differently? What would you like to know? What would you like to learn in the future? Also, if you sign up for my newsletter for my blog, you get my post right in your inbox for free. You get a free furniture buying guide that teaches you what to look for. Is it something maybe at the thrift store that you should leave there, which we call a leave it right there, or bring it home? Also, when you sign up, you get a discount to my shop where you can find this sign and other things that I've created right there, ready, available for you. And I want to send a shout out to all the troops that make our country free and great what it is. Couldn't have done it without you. I have family that have served, friends. Really, what a gift it is that we have our freedom here in the United States. Again, I salute you. Thank you to those who serve. Until next time, bye.